Guys, welcome back to another video. This video we're going to talk about how to create a database. We're going to talk about how to forward engineer and how to reverse engineer and what that is. Real quick, what we want to do is forward engineer this into code. So what we could do here is click on database and do forward engineer. And under forward engineer, you'll choose what your account is. I'll hit continue. There'll be a part that we don't want to connect to the database. You can connect this code to your database and have it run, but there's some extra syntax that we don't want to include. So then we're just going to have this selected here and hit continue. Enter your password in. And then you're going to have this table information up here. Select. If you created other things, it'll be selected here, but for the table, that's it. Hit continue. It throws all this code in here. There's some extra fields in here like the visible that doesn't work. So what we want to do is save the file. So I'll call this perfect. And I'll just cancel out of this because I don't need to continue. So let me pull up that for engineer. There we go. So here's my code. So let's copy this out. All right, so what I'm going to do is come over to my environment here, create a new SQL environment, hit paste. And everything where you see visible at, you see this a problem. So I'm just going to do this, copy this. If I could do replace or not. Yep, find and replace. Anything that's visible, comma, replace with nothing. Perfect. Done. Oh, that will be a problem because then nothing will be like that. So in this case, we need to get rid of visible and keep the comment error. We won't know what to do. There wasn't many places that was at anyways. That got cut off too. You know what, let's do this and copy this over again because I'm not sure what I messed up when I did that. So let's control A here. Let's do edit, select all. Start from scratch. All right. Make sure that whatever you call your environment, your schema, because it's going to create a schema here as well. So I'm just going to take that out. That out. All right, so it doesn't like constraint foreign key. Something's missing here. It's not in position, so something is missing. So create table, school countries, country ID, foreign key. All right, so it missed something when we connected the environment. So let's see what we did wrong here. So when we did countries, we connected. Oh, because there's another table that we had to connect to. That's why. So and we didn't create the secondary tables, but in this case, let me see if I could just hashtag it out for now. Dang. I think I know what it is. Let me check real quick. What? Let's just do this. I'm not sure what the heck's going on here. Let's see, foreign key. We'll just give it a foreign key name. So we'll call it country's ID. So let's say country ID. School countries. Let's see here. So foreign key address. So foreign key country ID references what? Countries. I'm not sure what I did here, so we're just going to wipe this out for our example until I come back to it. All right, let's wipe that out because, all right, so now we have our environment here. So we don't have a table called schema or environment. This should create it. So I'll just click the execute button. And if I hit the refresh button up here, you notice now we have a schema called school, with a table called address, and we have a table called customer. Now we don't have any data for them because there's no data. We haven't added any data. So that is how you forward engineer something. Now let's say that we had a table here. So let's close all of this. When you guys do yours for the homework for a week, you want to save this, but you'll do something different. Yeah, I don't want to save that. All right, so let's take a database that we have here. So for example, in the database class, and we created this in the ground class a couple weeks ago. So what I could do here is I could come up to database and I could do reverse engineer, and I could connect to my environment and enter my password in. All right, continue. I would choose my environment, what I want to choose. So I'll say JMDB, continue, gets the results. Like, yeah, import everything, sure. All right, and then hit continue and close. And what it does is it brings up all my information. Oops, I thought it brought it up. Oh yeah, it's right here. It brings it up here, and then I could easily just grab this, duplicate. What's it say? Oh, it's already down here. Duh. So it's down here, but you notice here we don't have any references. So we could automatically say, hey, you know what? This is going to be, you could do this and then this and create your references manually. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. You could do it that way. Or you could go into your table and set up your references in your foreign key like we did, and that would work as well. So that's how you reverse engineer stuff. So you take your table and put it into a diagram. All right. All right, so it's got down to business. So we talked about that. So now what we're going to do, zoom this in a little bit, we're going to talk about something else. If you have questions, just send me a message on Slack, preferably. Back here. So that's what he says he called me. All right, so we have that. Now we're going to create a schema. So I'm going to come up with something we don't have here. And what we're going to do here is create schema or create database. We'll type in create. Two different ways you could do. You could say create database. You could say if not exists. We'll say Yelp. Then it could do it that way, and we'll talk about that when we do store procedures. But easy thing we'll do is create schema. I'll call it Yelp, and hit execute. And in a minute here, I should have a Yelp page. I said it created it right down here. I'm gonna clear all this stuff out. Clear, and then if I come down here and refresh it, I have a Yelp page down here, right there. Boom. Awesome. So that's how you create a schema. Now, how you drop a database? I'm going to drop that school database because I don't need it. So I'm going to say drop database, and I'm going to say school, and I'm going to hit that. And guess what? It's gone. You don't see it there anymore. All right, so now we're talking about how to create a table. We've seen how to create a table when we're doing the other way. So now we're going to how to create a table manually. Okay, so creating a table. And we'll create it for Yelp. So we'll type in use the name of the database that we're using, Yelp. And then we'll say create, make this bigger so you guys can see here. So we'll say, what can we create for Yelp? We could create, well, Yelp could have like restaurants. It could have, well, let's go off to Yelp. Get an idea what Yelp is in a second here. So I'm trying to get an idea of Yelp in a second here. All right, so let's go with what's Liberty, West Virginia. What's over there? I didn't look like much. All right, they do have some stuff. All right, so they have Generations Pub. Never heard of that. Dirty Dog Tavern. Has anyone been there? All right, well, there's not much there. All right, so we'll go with Dirty Dog Tavern since I like the name. All right, so for example, we have a restaurant. We have what type of restaurant it is. We have an address. We have reviews, persons' names, etc. So we have a ton of stuff that we could do here. So we could say create reviews. Well, let's take restaurants. Why does it sound like? All right, so we'll do create restaurants, and we'll do this and this. So what that does is it creates a parentheses around the tables that we're gonna, or fields that we're gonna create, the attributes. So I'll call this rest underscore ID. I'll make it an integer, and I'll make it an auto increment. What that means is it'll automatically increment from the lowest number up, whatever is available. Then we'll do restaurant name. And we'll call it, say, varchar 50 should be enough. We'll type in not null. What that means is when values being added to the table, it can't be null or it will not work. Okay. We'll have a constraint, and we'll call this one rest pk for primary key. So what this means is it's going to be the main key on the table. It's going to be a restaurant key. I'm just abbreviating it. And then parentheses, we'll put rest ID. That's our primary key. Then we'll also build another constraint. If I can spell right. I can't spell it all up here either. Constraint. And I'll put rest name uniqueness. And what I'm doing here is I'm saying that the restaurant name has to be unique. So let's say, for example, we went in and add the Ugly Dog Saloon, and someone else went and add the Ugly Dog Saloon. It would not allow you to add it because guess what? It exists. So that's us building a constraint around it, not being able to be done. Okay, so do that. Why is that doing that? That's weird. All right, so that looks good. I don't know why it's acting weird, but let's get in. Oh, you know why? No, that's not why. All right, why is it saying that? You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds. All right, that's ridiculous. Let's see here. What did I do wrong? Create restaurants. Oh, what an idiot. Might need to call it table. Jeez. All right, so create your table. All right, so now it creates our table. So if we hit refresh, we have a table right here. Boom, restaurants. All right, so let's create a second table. Hopefully you guys can hear me because my kids are watching Disney movies in the other room and it's really loud. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new table. Create table, and we will call this one maybe reviews. Okay, so we'll say reviews, and in this case right here we'll have maybe review ID. We'll do it different this time. We'll call the primary key up here. So I'm showing you two different ways of doing it, and then we'll reference the restaurant ID so that we can link these two tables together. So what we'll do here is we'll call rest ID. We'll say int, and we'll say references. Oops, no, wrong one. Review ID. We'll say reviews. We'll just say review ID. And here we'll say integer. And we'll say references. References what? What table? Restaurant table. And what's it reference? Rest ID. Actually, I had that backwards. I'm out of my mind today. It should be rest ID. All right, so what we're doing here is we're building a foreign key relationship. We're building a relationship saying that, hey, this guy right here is going to be related to this guy. So that way we can have these guys provide information. All right, so what are we going to have here? So we'll have like review star. So how many stars did it get? Then we'll put int, and I'll put not null. The other thing is comments. We'll say what was the comments, and in here it'll be a varchar, and we'll make it a lot. So we'll make it 4,000, so you can enter a lot of information, and we'll put not null. And what else can we hear? So we have how many reviews start? Star, I meant to say. So our stars, comments, what else can they have there? We can have likes, people like stuff on here, but for this we just want to have reviews. So stars, and we'll put photos. And here we'll put an integer, and we'll put how many photos they uploaded. Okay, so for example, if I went back out to Yelp, if it's here, it's here somewhere. Let's go back to Yelp. Like for example, let's go to me. And one of the recent ones is I wrote on here 4 Points Brewing. All right. And so right here, 4 Points Brewing, they have 5 stars. They have 16 reviews. You see all the different reviews. That's me reviewing it. The different views. So you see all the different things that go onto it. So we have text, 4 photos, 5 stars. And then we can also put date reviews. That's a good one. And we could put date reviewed, and we'll put date, and we'll make that not null as it as well. All right, cool. So now what we'll do here is we'll highlight this. I think this will be enough for starting off, and we'll go and refresh it. Maybe. There we go. So we have reviews. That's how you create your tables. All right. So now what we need to do is insert data into our tables. Okay. So let's come down here. Let's do an insert into table. And first table that we'll do is restaurants. And we'll do restaurants. And let's see, into restaurants. We'll do this and this. So in here we'll put what are we going to insert into. So we know that rest ID is incrementer. So we don't have to add anything, but we need to add a restaurant name. So we'll do rest name. And we don't have to enter anything else there. And all we have to do enter here is values. So we'll do values, and we'll just give it some restaurant names. So let's go to Yelp real quick. I'll just throw some stuff out there. So 4 Points Brewery. Let's just add a couple columns. Let's see if this is going to work first. All right, insert into table restaurants, rest name values. It didn't like it. All right, why did it not like it? Table is not in the right position. All right, so let's do this. That should be right, but I'm gonna create a new SQL table real quick. Use Yelp. Still not in the right position. What is going on here? Insert into. Oh, you know what? You can't do table. You have to put insert into. All right, so here's an example why I got that wrong. Is I'm going back to another language, and other languages allow you to do that. So, all right, cross-reference of our own language. So that adds it there. So now we'll add another restaurant. We'll say Ugly Dog Saloon. Add it. Run it. Adds it again. We'll add something else. We'll say Pizza Wagon. And we'll say Land Sharks. Land Sharks Bar and Grill. Perfect. All right, so now if we come down here and do a select statement, select all from restaurants, we get an idea of, if you spell right, we get an idea of what we got out here. Whoops. There you go, we have restaurants, we do have data, so that's what matters. Data to the next table, which our next table was, we created restaurants. Now we need to add some reviews, and just kind of reviewing that real quick. Review. We need to, so I'm gonna do insert into and use the same query here and put reviews. And oh boy, yeah, reviews. Having not a good day. We need to put our table names in there, our field names. So in this case, we want to connect them up. So we have review IDs. That doesn't matter at all. REST ID is important because we want to put whatever is linked to the restaurant. So that's why I'm going to leave these values up here. So I'll put REST ID. I'll do review star. I'll do comments. I'll do photos and date reviewed. So those are areas that we want to add data. So anytime someone adds data, they're going to add to that restaurant ID, and it's going to do it automatically. So let's do this right here. So we know the first one is 4 Points Brewery. So we'll do 1 for that value. Review star, I'll give it 5. Comments, well, let's see. I can actually add some real comments here and put what I put in there. So I put all this in there. Oh, it's not gonna let me text it. Usually it's a lot longer, but that's good. See if we can fit all that stuff in there. So I'll do that. Oh man, that's a lot more than I wanted to. So let's fix this up. Yeah, let's not do that. That's too much for an example. So I'll put great place to try craft beers in the it's not the South Hills. Well, sort of is, sort of isn't. We'll just say the South Hills of Pittsburgh, the Valley. There we go. Awesome. Then we will add, we already add our comments. How many photos? We'll put 4, which that's how many there were, and date reviewed. So you have to put it in the right date. So we'll say 2019. The month was 11, and the day was yesterday. So whatever day that was, 16th. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, cool. So, all right, so let's go ahead and run that. Let's see if it added it. I did not add it, so I must have screwed up somewhere. Review ID doesn't have a, okay, so review ID does not have it. We have to add it. So let's do this. And then we'll just add it as 1. Should have auto increment it, but I wanted to show you how to do that. All right, so what's going on here? What the hell? All right, error code, incorrect data value 1992 for column date reviewed at 1. Okay, what the heck? All right, why did I not like it? Is it because I don't have it like this? Yep, so you have to put the text for the dates. It doesn't like that. So let's do all from reviews. So this will allow us to join on the 2 tables. All right, there we go. So it shows 1, 1, replace, perfect, 4. So now you can link the 2 tables together. So you can say select, let's do restaurants real quick. Oops. So select, you probably want to grab from reviews, but all, we'll say rest name. We'll do this. I'll call a.rest name. And then let's grab reviews here real quick. And we'll do B, and you'll see why I'm referencing A and B. It'll just be the name of the tables. And we'll say review star. And we'll say as reviews. As likes. We'll say likes. And we'll say as restaurant name. We'll just say restaurant. Likes. What else? We have comments. Keep that like that. We'll say photos. Number of photos. And date reviewed. Now we need to do from where. We'll say restaurants. A. Join reviews. B. On what? A dot. Let's see, what do we link on? Rest ID. Equal B dot rest ID. That's it. So now if I run this query, we have everything. We have the name of the brewery, how many likes they got, comments, number of photos, date reviewed. So that is why you have a relationship. I'm not going to add more values in there. I'll let you do that. But I just wanted to show you how to do that. Okay. So we have a few other things left in this video. We have to alter table. So let's say that we wanted to add something to our review table. Okay. So let's go back to reviews real quick. We have this. So let's go back to Yelp real quick. And what else do we have on here that we could add to the table? We have stars. We have photos. What else is on there? Okay, so what type of restaurant it is? We don't have that. So we can add that. So how would we do that? Well, we'd probably want to put it under restaurants instead of reviews because that'd be the specific type of restaurant. All right, so how would you do that? You would type in alter table, the name of the table, which is restaurants. You would add a column name, which will say type of place. And we would put, say, varchar output 50. Okay. Then what I'll do here is I'll run, I'll highlight this guy right here and run it. And now I'm going to go to restaurants, run it, and we should have null values. Because now we could come in here and add type of place. So that's how you would add and alter an extra column onto your table. Let's see, what else can we do? All right, so let's say that we wanted to modify this. Let's say that 50 was too big and we wanted to change it to something else. So we could say alter table restaurants, and we could come in here and say modify type of place, and then we can put a new value. If I can spell, we'll say varchar 25 is enough. So now if I come in here and run that, now if I do a refresh, because you're not going to see it in the table, that was in a restaurant. Yeah, whatever. Columns, type of place, and there you go. It's 25 now. So that's how you will modify. Drop table, how would you drop a table? Well, I'm not going to drop this table, but let's say I wanted to. I'd type in drop table, and I would just type restaurants. Just like that. And it would create it. So let's actually do that. Let me create a stupid table. So let's call this restaurants 2. Right? Because I don't care about restaurants 2. So now we come in here and do a refresh. All right, so we have restaurants 2. So now let's do this. Let's drop it. And look at that, it's gone. That's how you drop a table. All right, so this right here ends the second video of our this lecture this week. So this will help you do your homework. Your homework assignment will be based off of everything I taught you here today. So that's what I'll be looking for you guys to do. You have questions, you know how to get hold of me. Thanks for watching. Have a good week, guys.